Hey everybody, Andy Stickel here. Let's see. I just got this email newsletter, and I need to make this video because there's a lot of lawyers that have email newsletters or physical newsletters or whatever it is, and you guys all make the same mistake over and over and over again. So first of all, the first main mistake that you made is that this guy added me to his email list, and I did not opt in. So that's a big no-no right there because automatically I'm annoyed with it. But the bigger problem that I have, because I'm still going to read it because I always look at marketing material. All right, so at the very top, I guess he's a tax lawyer. It says blending left brain thinking with right brain artistry to make tax law a little less mind numbing. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool premise. And then I go through and read his content. New willful F-bar case is eerily foreboding for the taxpayer. What the hell does that mean? You got to remember, I am not a lawyer. Most lawyers make this mistake. They go to law school and they get this really high level education. They learn to write at a high level. They learn to read at a high level. They learn to problem solve at a high level, and that's great. The problem is that most people that you're writing to are not lawyers, and they don't have that level of training. You know, like some of the like this. Okay, a quick primer on Form 5471 and some hidden pitfalls to avoid. What does that mean? I have no idea. And then here, Form 5471 is triggered in situations where a U.S. person owns an interest in a foreign non-U.S. corporation. Okay, so why would you use a headline like this? Why not? If you own a non-U.S. corporation, here are some things to avoid, or here are some traps. You know, I mean, like, it's just something where, like, we've got to. You will get so much more mileage out of these, and you'll see so much more success if you stop writing like a lawyer and start writing like the person that you're actually trying to target. And, you know, I'm not saying you have to write it at a third grade level, but, you know, some of the stuff has to be put into, has to add some thought. And I think that he's trying to do this. That's why he's got the pictures here of a dinosaur, and even up the top here, basically, they're trying to make tax law less mind-numbing. But I think I've gotten balanced statements that are less mind-numbing than this content here. So. You know, it's like, and then you come in here, you look at this, it's just this giant block of text that nobody's going to read. You throw this into, here, look, this is an app I use all the time, and this will help. It's called Hemingway app. If you throw your content in here, your blog posts or whatever they happen to be, I mean, basically what this is, everything that has a color is too hard to read. This says this is at a 12th grade level. You know, most people read at a third grade level. So it's just, you know, this is just not, this isn't going to work. I mean, like, I appreciate writing the content. I appreciate the effort, but you've got to, first of all, you've got to use headlines that draw people in, that show the benefit of reading, and that actually let them know, let the average person know, what is this content actually about? What am I going to get out of reading this entire block of text? Now, the next thing you need to do is when you actually write the content, it needs to be written at a third or fourth grade level, not a 12th grade level, because, and actually this is probably higher than 12. I don't know if Hemingway goes higher than 12, but Hemingway app is really cool because you can come in here and you can see where your sentences are too hard, too long, when they use adverbs, when they use passive voice, when there's alternative phrases that could be simpler, when sentences are hard to read, different things like that. You know, I mean, you got to remember, you got to think about the end user. That's why all the lawyer marketing stuff that I create is very, very, very simple. I could go tech heavy on everything. I know a lot about coding. I know a lot about search engine optimization, but I don't do it because I know my end audience. I know that lawyers don't necessarily know about coding. Some do, but most don't. Most don't want these high tech heavy things. They want high level things that are actually actionable for them. Now, another thing, With this giant text, you've got to break this up. I understand that this is probably grammatically correct, but the world that we live in, you need every sentence or two needs to be its own paragraph, just because that's how the internet is. When you break stuff up, when you look at let's look at Moz. Moz is a really good example of their blog. Take a look at how they lay everything out. See how much easier this is to read, how there's spaces in there. It's got nice line height, which line height is the distance between this line and this line. It's got headers that talk about, you know, the different sections. This is just so much easier to read compared to just wall of text here. So, you know, I'm not really trying to call this guy out, but I kind of am. You've got to, first of all, nobody's even getting to this page, or very few people are, because this headline is not telling them anything. New willful F-bar case is eerily foreboding for taxpayer. I have no idea what that means, and I don't even really care, because I just get a headache looking at that. You know, it should say, you know, I don't even know exactly what it is. See, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And the problem is that when I have to work, and I'm not just saying me, I'm saying the user, when the reader has to work to figure out what you're talking about, they're just going to go into something else. So I'm not going to read that one because I don't know what it is. The onus of large foreign gifts and inheritances, I kind of understand that, but still, that can be so much. That can be made so much easier and so much more appealing. So keep this in mind when you are writing a blog post, when you're writing an email, when you're recording a video, when you're doing anything. The first thing you need to think about is, who is my target audience? Who is the person that's going to be reading this? And then you need to look at the headline and ask yourself objectively: is this headline or is this title going to be understood by the reader? Are they going to see a benefit in reading the entire article? And you know, is it a strong benefit? It's got to be a very strong benefit. Like, what are they going to get out of reading the article? You got to remember, people's favorite subject is themselves. They only care about what they're going to get out of it. So you've got to make it about them, and you've got to make it very easy for them to digest. Then, once you get to the article, you have to ask yourself, is this a giant wall of text that they're not going to read, or is it written, first of all, in a way that they're going to be able to digest it, and they're going to understand it, and they're going to get something out of it, it's going to provide a benefit. You know, and is it, you know, is it formatted in a way that is going to be easier to digest? But, you know, this type of stuff right here is just, I see this mistake over and over and over again. And it's something that's so easily fixed, because the reality is that a lot of times it's harder to write like this than it is to write at a 3rd or 4th grade level. So just keep that in mind. Let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you soon.